At Scarlett's Vet, thoughts on spirulina. I love spirulina. It's a blue-green algae. The benefits of spirulina are it's very detoxifying. It really supports the liver. It's quite high in protein. It's good for B12. It's a gorgeous colour. Makes everything taste quite exceptional. So be careful how much you add. Sometimes it's better just to do a shot on its own and get it out of the way. But I do think it's fantastically nutrient dense. I mean, it really is amazing. At Zvenjar Hussein, please give some examples of healthy fats and calcium-rich foods for someone on a dairy-free diet. Okay, that's a good question. So things like avocado, salmon nuts, things like almonds are really good for it. Broccoli's really high in calcium too. Fish for the fats. You could also supplement, you know, like get a fish oil if you needed to. Michelle Brandon _garden_design. Is there a gold standard B12? Feeling flaky, need a pick-me-up, and B12 always does the trick. Many thanks. I mean, is there a gold standard B12 supplement? Is that what you mean that's been tested like that? I'm not entirely sure what that means. Anyway, regardless of it, if B12 is the thing, I don't know if you supplement it or if you get an infusion. If B12 always does the thing, then that's great. But I would wonder why you're not... if you're vegetarian, it would explain why you're not getting B12 in your diet. But, you know, if B12 is lacking and you always feel better, then perhaps you should supplement constantly for a while and see if you can get the level up. Perhaps you should get tested to see what your level is for a start and see how far off it is, and then try and get it, because if it's very, very low and you're just picking up a little bit and then it's dropping straight back down, you need to look at whether you've got B12 anemia. You know, why is it doing that? Why isn't it just growing up and up and up? So I think a bit more investigation into that is needed. Mrs. Difford, how do you lose weight healthily after 45? Well, there's after 45, after 40, your body sort of changes a bit, and simplest way of doing it without knowing anything else is to say don't snack. So in between, let your gut empty, and then refill it at lunchtime, and let it empty and refill it at dinner time. The way of dealing with sugar as we get older, and I'm in the same boat, I'm 44, is it's not as efficient as it used to be, which is why we can't eat whatever we want to eat anymore, and you find that you're struggling to maintain a balance. I'm terrible at grazing, and it really takes a lot of discipline for me to not snack. But honestly, without knowing much more about your case, no snacking would make probably a huge difference to you, because it means that your insulin level can come back down to rest before it picks up again to deal with lunch. Aid Assel, what is the best way to treat a skin fungal infection, stress-induced dermatitis, apart from being less stressed? That's what I'd say, be less stressed. Okay, so things like, an anti-inflammatory diet would be really key. Also, you could do antifungals, so, you can get antifungals. And things like bromelain would be really good because they're anti-inflammatory. You can find those in pineapples. The anti-inflammatory diet is high in good fats, low in sugars. So things like sugars and things will really feed the fungal infection. The fungus is going to love it. So you really want to get those out. You really, really don't want any of those sugars. So, you want to really do low sugar, high fat, good fat, high fresh vegetables. As I said, pineapple's brilliant for the bromelain. And yeah, see how you get on with that. Make sure you're really hydrated. At Bass and Lokes, thank you for allowing us to ask questions. You're welcome. Mine is, are there any good foods to help us reduce and deal with anxiety? So good mood foods are things like selenium, vitamin D is really important. Chamomile would be good, like to just calm. Turkey, bananas, and eggs all have something called tryptophan in, which helps they're a precursor to making serotonin, so really important. A probiotic might be really good here. And you could also try CBD. CBD oil has been very, very helpful to a lot of my clients for anxiety, really useful actually. And then also your brain function, so you're thinking of omega-3s, like the good fats in your brain. So I try all of those, and yoga is the other thing I try. Meditating and things like that is really powerful for anxiety. H. May Brown, what is the hype about MCT? MCT is medium chain triglycerides, and People use it, it sort of helps you to stay fuller for longer. It also helps the body to work in ketones, so if you're doing a ketogenic diet, it will help that, which helps you to lose weight. And so I think that's basically the hype about it. Yeah, I mean, and they do, you know, and it does help you feel for longer. At Alimonto, what phytoestrogens would you recommend other than flaxseed and primrose oil? Well, tempeh is a really good one. Sesame's a great one actually, because tempeh is a soy, but it's a fermented soy, so it doesn't act in the same way. You know, it sort of is really good for this sort of, you know, for phyto. It's a really good phytoestrogen. And sesame oat is another one that I would say. And soybeans, so you know, the actual edamame beans and things like that are really good. CH Smith PhD, recommendations for evening bedtime supplements, especially for those of a certain age that are fighting metabolic decline. I don't know what your metabolic decline is, so it's quite hard to answer. I think you know, a course of probiotics at night, twice a year for a month is a really good thing to do for everybody, but you know, you can get sort of older for a different, because as we get older our gut changes, so you can get ones for older people. And then the other thing was magnesium. I put down for sleep, because you know, you take it at bedtime, it helps you sleep better, it helps you relax. But it's quite a difficult one, that, because it's sort of, I don't know what your metabolic decline is. Anyway, I hope that sort of helps, although it's quite general. At Dalai Nim. How can I lower bad cholesterol? Well, the easiest way to lower your bad cholesterol, it depends what it's from, but if it's from stress, is to reduce stress, but also to increase fibre. So fibre helps get the cholesterol out of the body, so it attaches and takes it out. So that's one good thing. And omega-3s. Also, if you're smoking, then no smoke. You know, smoking is going to make it worse. Alcohol is going to make it worse. Stress is going to make it worse. So all those things, you need to eat much higher fresh foods. And there are also things like golden seal, sort of Chinese herbs you can take that will help. But it depends, you know. But I'd say dietary, you can absolutely do quite a lot of work with cholesterol. So just fresh, whole grain, and see how you get on with that. Okay, that is it for the end of a very long July Q&A. And I will see you next month. I hope you have a great month. Thanks, bye.